Heidi.
Hi, Heidi.
Oh, the truth I've chosen to believe is a story about drugs. Okay. All I wanted was to be naked and free, and for about 8 hours, until they put me on horse tranquilizers, I was. This is a story about finding freedom. I'm 15. My mother and I have to leave our home because it's been vandalized by the men she hired to house it while we were away on summer vacation. We need to get out while it's being cleaned up, so her and I arranged to stay with her friend, a woman named Deborah. This woman named Deborah has a son named Leon, and unbeknownst to Deborah and my mother, but very well known to me, Leon is my high school's drug dealer. I'm very excited. The power of having someone like the drug dealer in your corner is immeasurably advantageous, and the way things are going in my home life, I need some real advantage. As soon as school lets back in and everyone finds out, I'm gonna be an it girl. A real Chloe Sevigny of Orange High. The night we arrive, Leon and his buddy take me to a diner called the Waffle House. It's a place you get waffles. I tell them the whole dramatic story of my house being watched by these two men my mom had hired over the summer, and that when we got back, they'd stolen our stuff and turned our house into a pile of trash. They let me talk for a while, and then Leon says, "Heidi, it sounds like you just need to do some acid." Okay. I pretend like this is something I've done before, and with false apathy say something like, "Cool." We get back to Leon's, and he takes out a Calvin and Hobbes comic book, and it's about yay big. Have you guys seen those? And he opens it up, and there it is, a sheet of white watercolor paper the size of the other pages. He cuts two very tiny squares off the top corner and hands them to me, telling me to let them sit on my tongue for a while, and that I'll feel better afterwards. He and his friend then leave to go to some upperclassmen party, and I'm left alone at 1 a.m. in a house I don't live in with my mother and Deborah sleeping in the next room. Okay, around 2 a.m., I decide I'm not yet having the life-affirming, mind-altering experience I was told I'd be having, so I make a decision that'll determine a lot of things for me. I sneak very quietly into Leon's room, open up the comic book, cut the thinnest line off the entire sheet of artist paper, and then I take the delicate strip of paper into my mouth, and I wait. Nothing happens after about 30 minutes, so I go to sleep. Now, somewhere in here, in this sleeping time, is where the seeds of my adventure really begin to germinate. I wake up around 6 a.m. There is no Heidi, only Zool. Floating directly into the kitchen and opening the refrigerator, I discover some Oreo cookie icing and forget it's a thing to eat, and that eating even is a thing. And I spread it all over the windows, and all over my arms, because yes, that window needs to be lubricated, and yes, these arms need to be greased. I remove a cold pack from the freezer and squeeze it so enthusiastically that the antifreeze comes out, which I then also spread all over the windows and all over my arms. Then I remember eating is a thing, and I eat a little of the antifreeze. Surprised to find that it's sweet. Yes, I do all of this, and then I notice the morning light trickling in through the lace curtains, and feeling so moved, I begin to sing Annie's "Tomorrow, tomorrow, I love ya, tomorrow." And I suppose I'm singing rather loudly, because I turn around and I hear someone in the doorway, and it's Deborah. And she says something like, "Heidi, your singing's lovely, but it's 6 a.m. and we're all trying to sleep." To which I respond, "Fine, I get the picture." It probably takes one quick glance at this wide-eyed teenager stranger in her kitchen with the Oreo cookie icinged windows and antifreeze windows for her to know that something is amiss. So she wakes up my mom, and my mom comes out and says, "Heidi, what are you on?" And I respond, just like that. Just like an idiot would say it. The next few hours are very, very fun for me. At some point, the taking off of clothes begins. I'm naked as a jaybird and grinning with self-glorification. I'm gently encouraged to bathe the icing off and put some clothes back on. So I try to abide, and I start pulling pants on my arms and t-shirts on my legs. I'm confused by all these holes in these materials and which limbs went where, soaking each item of clothing with periodic jumps into Deborah's shower, convinced that if I jump a very particular way with just enough force at the shower curtain, that I will enter a different dimension. The dimension, of course, depending on which color the shower curtain I jump into. Failing at entering another celestial realm, but standing there wearing wet pants on my arms, I finally realize clothing makes no sense. Deborah and my mother now stand in front of me like a couple of linebackers, crouched and ready to tackle if I attempt to break from the cramped bedroom we've moved into. But I need to be free. Why couldn't anyone understand this? I look to my left, and there's a clay vase on top of a dresser, the kind all hippies have with probably some personal note etched into the bottom of it. And I decide I can pick up the vase, drop it, it'll shatter. They're gonna bend down to pick up the pieces, and then I'm gonna leap over them, and I'm gonna run free around the house. Okay? So, I pick up the vase, I drop it, it shatters. They bend down to pick up the pieces, and I leap over them. It worked. I am the shit. I am a fucking obstacle wizard. I run into Leon's room, and I jump on top of him, hugging his back, wearing nothing but a wet pants shirt. And I am happy. You see, this is the sort of thing I really want to do all the time, but I'm too scared. I want to hug people and be hugged, and I'm doing it, and I'm doing it pretty close to naked. I'm thinking, I am happiness. Hugging people is so nice. Oh my God, we're all connected. Shit, colors mean things. Time isn't linear, it's on a sphere of your personal experience, and it's a cycle. When you need something, the universe will provide it for you. All we want is to be free. Things like that. These are the last types of thoughts I remember thinking before they injected me with horse tranquilizers. Which makes me think I was probably doing a bunch of other stuff I don't remember so well too. And as a child of an ever bare-butted person like my mom and her friends, I hadn't shown a reasonable amount of skin since I was probably 6. It was my reverse rebellion to be buttoned up, and now here I was, fondling my breasts a lot, while I looked into a mirror and thought how beautiful I looked. Do you know how wonderful it is for a 15-year-old to feel finally beautiful? Every part of me really needed this to happen. I took matters into my own hands, and the gamble, in a strange sort of way, paid off. While these women fretted over me in the way you would not expect two hippies to fret over a person on a hallucinogenic, I felt finally taken care of the way I had not been. I was being paid attention like someone pays attention to a child, which I was, and no one had let me be for years. I felt free. I felt like royalty. I felt absolutely beautiful and transcendent. I felt light and unburdened. I was not myself. And in fact, for a long period of time, I was pretty sure I was a Persian cat. Really. So I took the acid, and it was my medicine. Not the public service announcement you'd want your kids to hear, but it's my truth. What helped me may have been horrible for someone else, and I don't want to go around prescribing my super mystical teenager meds, but looking back, I made the right choice for me at the time. The pressure valve was open just enough, and I was given permission to let go and be free. Now I knew what it was to be a cherished princess, a naked person, and a spoiled Persian cat.